Hey everybody, welcome to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, and this is Serum Powder Eldrazi. Now the real question is this hand worth keeping? And I don't think it is. I think we take our free mulligan here. Is this one better? Not really, but it is a keep. Okay, so as you might have seen, the goal of our deck is to play Serum Powder and have as many broken hands as possible with Eldrazi. That's what we're going for. So that first hand was okay. Having double Serum Powder and it's pretty bad, so it felt like taking a reroll on a 7 was going to be what we wanted to do there. But that's the deck. It's just we're trying to recreate Eldrazi winner here with lots of good things going on. Now, the real cool value in this deck, and it unfortunately went the wrong way in this hand, but these sweet Eternal Scourges, which are Eldrazi, you exile into Serum Powder. Serum Powder is a really weird card, but what it says is you can mulligan for free, go right back up to 7, rather than go down to 6 like normal by exiling your hand. Now that's actually an upside with Eternal Scourge, which is just great. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, so now I think we do this. Let's see if our opponent takes it. All right. The real thing is we want to resolve this Chalice. He probably has a counterspell right here, though. So I think I'm just gonna be as mana efficient as possible and run out this Reshaper, which I expect to get countered. I attacked first. Yeah, we miss a point of damage if he lets us resolve. And he bolted that thing. Like I said, I expected that thing to get bolted no matter what. Although that actually signals to me... Oh, wow, okay. That signals to me that our opponent does not have a counter spell. Because he would have countered the Reshaper rather than bolt the Mimic. Alright, so... we'll try to Chalice for 1 here. Now, the great thing is, even if our opponent has Remained, we can exile the Summoning Spirit Guide and recast it for 1, because stopping that deck from casting 1-mana spells, very, very powerful. Alright, so this actually looks pretty nice for us. I don't know how many cards we turned off in our opponent's deck, but it's a non-zero number. If we had Chalice on 0, we could play it and stop the Ancestral Vision, I believe. Yeah. I assume our opponent's on... I guess Ancestral Vision means Grixis Control rather than Grixis Death Shadow, but oh man, that's a lot of cards that get turned off. Alright, I'm not going to go for the Spirit Guide Smasher plan here. This comes off next turn. I'm just going to see what he does about our Reshaper attack and then play Eternal Scourge. Play all of our non-haste threats first. Opponent's going to draw a bunch of cards, but not being able to cast 1-mana Fatal Pushes and Lightning Bolts is going to make it very difficult for him to get back in this game. We've been Logic Knotted. Unless I pay 2, huh? I'll probably just pay 2. What do you think? Oh, man, the value is real. Oh, I would like to pay 2. Love it. Okay. Yes, that means we can't cast our Smasher next turn, but you know what? At least we didn't get our Smasher Logic Knotted. This is fine, though, because our opponent's at 7, and he can't play Fatal Pushes or Lightning Bolts. So, honestly, just putting a stupid 3/3 Hill Giant on the board is all we really need to do here. Our opponent has a million cards, but he has to find cards that deal with our board while not casting 1-mana spells. So that means, basically, it's going to be Terminate or Kolaghan's Command. And those aren't very good for him because we just have power in play, right? He can terminate our Eternal Scourge, take 3, and then he's tapped out, and we just get to play another Eternal Scourge, or Smasher if we have land, etc. And if he has, say, Kolaghan's Command to go after our Reshaper, then we get value off of that. So this Chalice on 1 just doing work here against our opponent, as you would expect. Turns out all you have to do is Serum Powder away your hand and get a better one. That's pretty fun. I like it. Not something this is just one of those things you can do in Modern, and Serum Powder is just this kind of inherently broken Magic card that never really gets used because it's just kind of silly and dumb. And it's a vintage card. It's good for vintage Dredge because they dig towards the all-important Bazaar of Baghdad. But in other decks in Modern, it's never really been used before. And this, I don't think this is, we're looking at a tier deck or whatever here, but it is pretty sweet. Alright, so we drew the land we needed, so now I am comfortable just slamming Smasher, because if our opponent counters it, it means he gets hit for 6, and then he can't even crack his fetch. So this seems, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We won't pay for it. But even that kind of locks our opponent pretty hard here. We put our opponent to 1, and now his Bloodstained Mire can't do anything. We just get to activate double Ink Moth, Blink Moth Nexus, and attack. But there you go. Okay, so our opponent appears to just be on Grixis control, which means these Hangerbacks are going to be good. And these Relics are probably going to be pretty good. Although they do fight with the Chalice on 1 plan. In this one, it's fine here. The Dismembers are not going to be good. We'll get rid of those. Turn Scourge seems decent. Maybe... We're on the draw, so these Chalices, they're still really good, to be honest. I'm going to cut 2 Relics. We probably don't need Infinite, and we don't want it to be too dead here. We do want to maximize the odds of a turn 1 Chalice of the Void. I think we probably cut an endless one. It's just a thing. Just a creature. Just a big dumb creature. I think this is all about Chalice. We want Chalice on turn 1 here. Now our opponent does have Kolaghan's commands to deal with them in his deck. That's just something we're going to have to deal with. I don't know how our matchup is here. I don't feel bad for my Grixis opponent only hitting 2 lands because that deck functions on 2 lands the large majority of the time. But I do think this is going to be, we need kind of a broken start here. This will do it. This hand is great. Alright, we get to do it. Turn 1 Chalice of the Void incoming. Turn 1 Chalice of the Void, turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer, turn 4 Thought-Knot Seer, turn 5 Smasher, etc. Now our opponent, of course, has plenty of outs of this, but it does mess him up in the early game. The only thing that would be better is if our next card was a Cavern of Souls. Or another Eldrazi Temple, so we could turn 2 Thought-Knot. That would be pretty good as well. I wonder how many cards we turned off in their hand. The thing is, he can just get to Kolaghan's command, kill the Chalice, and then be free to play all of his Fatal Pushes and Lightning Bolts. So it's not, it's not just a slam, got it, game, turn 1, game over. But it is very powerful. No Serum Power is needed. Just draw the right card. Yeah, our opponent in the tank here probably wanted to Serum Visions or something on this turn, and now is not going to have the opportunity to. Does have another Suspended Ancestral Vision, so next Chalice might be played for 0. He's definitely tanking. That's good. I'm glad our opponent is not sure what to do against this Chalice on 1. I would like to draw either Cavern of Souls or another Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, Serum Powder is what I was worried about. It's not the worst draw. It actually is mana for Smasher, etc. So not the end of the world, but not exactly what we wanted, especially since we're not going to be casting it for several turns here. I could have led with Blink Moth so that maybe we attack on that turn, but I think that's worse than playing Temple. Okay, well our opponent pretty clearly is sitting on a counterspell over there. There's no way they're not. This is also the Kolaghan's command turn, so I may as well try it anyways. I don't expect this to resolve. Thinking maybe our opponent has, 2 lands and 3 Lightning Bolts. The good news is if it's Kolaghan's command, which it is, and we discard a card. Okay. I will discard this Serum Powder. Great. So our opponent traded Kolaghan's command for Chalice and a nothing there, but it means we get to resolve a Thought-Knot. Oh, wow. So our opponent is 3 lands and a Fatal Push. So Fatal Push down. I do think he gets to draw this turn, or is it next turn? Oh, great. It's next turn. Oh, my gosh. So good at this game. There's no reason not to just jam here. Our opponent could draw into Damnation. I guess that's a risk we run. At least we would get a Thought Knot after that, but we may as well just hit him for 9. Actually represents lethal next turn with the Splunk Nexus. And now it just represents lethal, period. So our opponent can cast whatever Fatal Pushes they want. However, there is no Lightning Bolts that will do anything to our board. It does get to draw a bunch of cards off Ancestral Vision here. So, you know, that's a thing. There's a lot of answers. I'm sure his deck is actually just chock full of answers to our current board. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't correct to play Smasher, I think. I think it's way worse to play Thought Knot there. And then get a Damnation to where our opponent draws 2 cards and have a Smasher after. Just doesn't matter. Looks like we're going to get Cryptic commanded here, if I were to guess. That's actually fine. Okay, we're going to attack. Okay, Snapcaster Kolaghan's command. Terminate on the Smasher. Okay, discard. I accept. That's pretty good for us, honestly, if that's all our opponent had. Alright, put him down to 5. So I could play Serum Powder here, and then not have enough for Thought. There's no reason not to just jam Thought Knot, I think. An uncounterable Thought Knot, even. Basically, our opponent must have very few answers here. Can't have much going for him, to be honest. Okay. That's actually sweet value. Nimble Obstructionist to counter the Thought Knots here, triggered ability, and draw a card. That's actually pretty sweet. Not only did he get to protect his hand, he got to cash that card in for a new one. I like it. That's some fancy footwork over there. Ooh, that's a good one, though. All right, let's go ahead and slam this thing. This way, if it's Snapcaster Cryptic, he has to do it now. Not that that really changes anything. It is Snapcaster Cryptic. Oh, but there's no Cryptic over there, so it's just Snapcaster Terminate. Okay, well, our opponent is pulling into the game here, up to 4 cards in hand. Now, the good news for us is that this Hangerback Walker, which we're going to play next turn, or maybe I'll play it this turn. I kind of want to play the Serum Powder here and leave it open to activate Relic Progenitus. On the other hand, I think that might just be worse, because right now we can't play around Logic Knot no matter what, huh? And we could just slam a larger Hangerback later. Kind of a hard call. I think it's probably just correct to play Hangerback, though. We just get it into play. We can still activate the Relic if we need to. You know, I could have played around Logic Knot entirely by activating Relic. Maybe that would have been better, actually. And it appears we're going to get Logic Knotted, too. Okay. All right. I would say it's hard to tell because if we do, and this thing probably shouldn't get bolted. Oh, he's terminating our other Thought Knot. Okay. Oh, all right. That's pretty bad. Now our opponent's up to 5 cards in hand. We have this Hangerback, though, and that was the idea of leaving Hangerback for last so that we get a bunch of tokens off of it. The problem is we only played out for 1. It's not necessarily going to be a lot of tokens. As foretold, huh? Okay. Ancestral Vision, sure. That's pretty busted. Alright, I know what we're playing against now. That Nimble Obstructionist was pretty good in this game. Don't know if our opponent has Cryptic. We might, depending on what our opponent's hand is, we might be able to make some progress with this Hangerback Walker. We also have a lot of good draws. He's fought through the 2 Thought Knots and the Smasher. It's honestly been pretty good for our opponent, but the As Foretold into Oh my gosh, I just continue to be great at this game. Problem with this one is that it is very good. However, we are leaving our relic open here, and our hangerback's not even doing anything. But there might be an argument for playing this differently, but with As We're Told sitting up over there, after having just got the sweet Ancestral Vision value off of it, I don't know. Okay, but I guess he didn't have an answer because there you go. All right, it worked. 5 cards. Now he's drawing cards to see, but he had 5 cards over there, and I guess none of them were an answer. He needed to terminate or something, and he didn't have it. And even Snapcaster terminate, I guess. Hand must have just been not great. Whew! That game was great. Eldrazi Winter has returned. Thanks for watching, everybody.